We've got some great information this morning. Professor Larson is going to give us, answer all of your questions about lifts. Actually, people did send some questions
They
in,
did.
didn't
They took me up on my offer.
Yeah, well, that's great.
So keep it coming.
Keep it coming. And
it doesn't have to just be lifts.
Oh, it can expand beyond that.
Sure. How to make a pizza. Whatever you want. I'll do my best.
Your best cookie recipe. There you go. Well, I'm curious what kind of questions people had and are curious about.
Well, I think the first one, and it seems like it's not just some folks that wrote in, but I've been seeing it a little bit on social media. It was about 3 T-bar and why it's not running.
Right.
So there's a couple of reasons. I think there's a power issue. When we were building the CVA T-bar, we believed that we damaged the power line on the way up there. So we were digging around on narrow gauge and we hit some wires. We thought they were older wires. And when we went to fire the system up for the first time on the CVA T-bar, we blew a bunch of breakers and it knocked out the whole mountain. And come to find out, just below the transformer at 3 T-bar, there's a break in the wire. So it's right out in the narrow gauge trail. This was in December. It had a full amount of snow on the trail. So we decided not to go after it to dig it up. But we do have a generator. We finally got a generator on site. We're hooking it up, and we do have to run the lift and test it a little bit. But if we need it, then we'll be able to have it hopefully on the generator. The other thing that we're a little bit of an issue is staffing within the lift department.
Right.
We've had quite a few volunteers from marketing and the administration building coming out this week to help us run double runner alongside and try to run all of our lifts.
Right.
So we're really thankful for everybody that's coming out and helping the lift department get all these lifts running.
Oh, that's awesome that they're coming together. What a team member should do. Kind of a shout out that if anyone is looking to, expand their horizon and work on the lifts, I think it would be welcome, right?
I agree. I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
I think there could be a
I mean, I think
they're,
they'd have some competition with the women of Whiffletree.
Oh, aren't they great, huh?
Great segment. Thanks for doing that. Showcasing
great attitude, and that's Sugarloaf spirit right there.
It is. It is. Well, another question was, why does the hull rope have paint marks on it? So there's 3 different colors. There's a yellow color. So a hull rope is actually not one loop. It has to be spliced together. So basically the wires get opened up and then they get married together, and we paint that marriage yellow, and then we paint all the tucks. So the one strand needs to get tucked inside so that when it gets pulled tight, it won't come out. And we paint those yellow. One, because we have to measure those and inspect those and keep an eye on them throughout the winter that they're not pulling out. And then also the fixed gripped lifts, Sawduster, Skidway, Timberline, those grips wrap around the haul rope, and when they go around the bull wheel, they actually move back a little bit on the cable. It's called migrating. So we want to make sure that they don't run into a tuck. So we need to know where the tucks are. And then there's other colors, which are blue and green, and that's where the chair starts the season. So we paint that color green, and then throughout the season, the chair moves back. And then we monitor that migration. And then in the summer, the team goes and puts it back to that mark, and then every other year, they move the chair back 2 feet and change the color. Blue, green, blue, green. And that helps rotate the wear on the cable, and also it's part of the process for the state that we need to do. Another question was on the detachable lifts. That's Super Quad and Whiffletree. There's chairs 1 through 136 on Super Quad, but there's a really big gap between 1 and 136. And on Whiffletree, it's 1 through 75. So there's a larger gap between the first chair and the last chair. And the C-Tech lifts, which is those 2 are C-Techs, which is a manufacturer, they call for 1.5 chair lengths between. And we think that's because The chairs sometimes get boogered up. Icing, other things make them slip a little bit. So that just gives a little extra room, so as the chairs begin to space themselves back out, they don't get wadded up real tight. At least that's what Sam Price told me. As he's our lift maintenance manager, and I believe him because he's one of the best.
Well, there's a lot to the maintenance of the lifts here. They get an awful lot of use, but appreciate the candor and transparency of letting us know what's going on there and why things are happening and why you're not using an extension cord. Not kidding. Because you have a generator, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I wanted to also give a shout out to the Huddleston family. They have 3 young kids, and they watch every weekend, and they're out there in the programs racing. So I just wanted to say hi to them.
Always a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for
Come
having
back
me.
again soon. We'd love to have you.
Will do.